Well, goddamn, I gotta call that one of the most heaviest performances out there. Alright then, welcome to today's Don't Let Me Into My Zone. Today, we'll be reviewing the top 10 albums from the band where this talented vocalist comes from, Dir En Grey. Let's get this party started.
Don't let him into his zone. Don't let him into his zone. You just let him into his music nerd zone.
Alright, hello everyone, welcome to our second episode of Don't Let Me Into My Zone, the music reviews on the MB channel on YouTube. Make sure to hit that subscribe button to see more of this content and to see more of my live streams because I play very bass games. But today we're here to talk about one of the bass bands of all time. One of my favorite bands of all time, like top three, maybe top one. Well, yeah, they're actually number one, but aside from that, Dir En Grey. Today we're here to rank the top 10 Dir En Grey albums, and this was a hard road coming because I really wanted to do this episode of Don't Let Me Into My Zone because I really love Dir En Grey as a band. Dir En Grey is amazing as hell, but here's the thing. They have a large discography, but there's a few albums in there that I feel like, yeah, there's like one of the good 2 songs in there, but then there's like some albums that are like, holy crud, this is like the greatest thing ever, which you'll see with rank number 1. But rank number 10, we're gonna start with my 10th favorite Dir En Grey album. Let's go. My 10th favorite Dir En Grey album of all time is Kusa. I understand that Kusa is like the time when Dir En Grey started adding a bit more of like that more harder sound that it got, like you would hear in Vulgar. But Kusa is kind of like in a weird state where it does have like a few good songs, but there's also like a few songs that I can't really vibe with that kind of make the album really like, I don't know, a bit long-winded for me. But there are like a few songs in there that are really amazing. For example, Bottom of the Death Valley is really amazing. Mushi is really amazing. Jessica is amazing. There's like 3 songs in there that are really amazing that I really love on Dir En Grey discographies, which they would also remaster and do a re-recorded version of with their current style. And one of our albums coming up in here, I know it's not an album, it's an EP technically, but I do consider it a very important part of Dir En Grey discography. But shoutouts to Kusa. Now we're gonna go to album number 9. And here we have the 9th favorite album of yours truly by Dir En Grey, The Insulted World. The thing about The Insulted World is that it's Dir En Grey's last album, but apparently, according to Rate Your Music, they're gonna release an album this year called Valorous. I don't know when, I'm gonna have to look, but aside from that, The Insulted World is an album that was released about like 4 years ago, Dir En Grey's last studio album. And the thing about it is that, it's a great album. There's like some great songs in there like Aka and Ranunculus. Like Ranunculus is really amazing, but here's the thing about The Insulted World. There's a few re-recorded songs from Arch in there. A few re-recorded songs, but the thing about it is that, in all honesty, the re-recorded versions of the songs from Archie in this album do not sound as good as the original versions. I'm sorry about that, but they just don't sound as good. Like, if I hear that version in The Insulted World, I just gotta change it to the original version from Archie. I'm sorry, but it's still a great album, really. Aka and Ranunculus are really amazing songs though. And now it's time to head to number 8, the top 8 album of Dir En Grey. Let's go.
OMB, why you put Vulgar in here? Why is Vulgar in number 8?
Well, the thing about Vulgar is this is when Dir En Grey was starting to get super heavy with their music. This is when more of the super heavy metal aspect went into their albums, but it also brought upon Obscure, which is, in honesty, I think that the re-recorded of Obscure actually works better with the music video, but aside from that, Obscure is one of the greatest songs in this album, but actually to me, the album that I really like it, the song I really like in this album is actually Child Pray. I don't know, Child Pray is just a really great song, and Drain Away is also a great song. Like, this is like a really great metal, heavy metal Visual K experience, but it still gives you an idea of what Dir En Grey would become eventually, but they would mature a bit out. They would mature a bit more with that edgy aspect with their music and would eventually become what they are today. But this is still a good turning point for a band. This is still a really good turning point for the band for sure. And now we're gonna talk about number 7. Oh, but MB, this is supposed to be top 10 albums. I understand, but The Unraveling by Dir En Grey is still a really important part of Dir En Grey's discography. It's still a really important part of their discography. Like, really, The Unraveling shows you off. It's like the perfect example of how Dir En Grey evolved as a band. How they evolved as a band, and pretty much like everything, all the original songs in here are good, but the remastered versions of the songs are also amazing. Like Bottom of the Death Valley, the remastered version of the final, but in all honesty, the final is still better than the original version from Rendering to Death. But this album is like, if you want to show people like the difference of how Dir En Grey evolved as a band, you show them like one of their early albums, like Obscure, and then you show The Unraveling. This is a perfect album to show you an evolution for a band. Really, it is. And now let's move on to number 6, lucky number 6.
No, but that beat, Dumb Sparrows when Dir En Grey went so heavy.
I understand. Different Sense is still a really heavy song. I love Different Sense as a song. But Different Sense and Lotus are not enough to like carry this album. But it's still amazing. It's still amazing. Like Akatsuki is amazing. I love many of the songs in this album. Like, it really is. But then it's kind of like, I don't know, Dir En Grey went a bit with ritualistic, edgy, like, it's so scary, oh my god, but they still got it, like there's still many great songs in here that do warrant the number 6 rank. Like, really, like Different Sense is enough to like make this album like top 5 or top 10, but the other albums do exist. Like, for example, number 5, which isn't as heavy as Dumb Sparrow, but in my opinion, it's probably still one of Dir En Grey's heaviest albums.
Oh, but MB, is the Marrow of a Bone is the Dir En Grey's heaviest album? It just sounds like Kelvin's just doing that screams with compressed audio.
Whoa! No! Here's the thing. The Marrow of a Bone is still one of Dir En Grey's heaviest albums. No, it's Dir En Grey's heaviest album because this album has some of their most depressing and most angriest stuff ever, but I love it. I'm all for it, bro. I'm all for it, homie. Like, literally, like, some of the performances Kyo does here, like, on Repetition of Hatred, Grief, it's Agitated Scream of Maggots. Let's talk about that. That stuff is super heavy, especially with Kyo's current vocals, with his harsh vocals that evolved more into more inhuman stuff. But really, even if it wasn't as unhuman on this album like it is today, his vocals on here are crazy, especially on like the depressing songs like The Pledge, Conceived Sorrow, Rojoku no Ame, I'm sorry if I got the name wrong. Like, really, this is like, if you want one of Dir En Grey's heaviest but most depressing albums, it's The Marrow of a Bone, and I'm happy to put that at number 5. And now let's talk about album number 4. Let's go!
MB, you just put a debut album at number 4 when Dir En Grey's other albums are so awesome. Why you put the album when they're newbies in number 4?
Well, here's the reason why. Aside from Yoshiki from X Japan helping produce this album, Dir En Grey was really amazing when they started off. They're like probably like one of my favorite Visual K J-Rock sounds whenever they started off. You have Yokan, you have Yurimiki, you have Cage in here. Oh, everything in here is so amazing, especially Zan too, because I know Zan was remastered on on some of their singles. I think it was the I can't pronounce it, but you probably already know where it comes from. You can listen to it on their Beasties of Scratches compilation on Spotify. But pretty much, this album is probably like one of my favorite debut albums of all time. Aside from the production and the way how Kill sounds, like really, if there's an album to show you how great Kill sounds like normally, like when he sings normally, it's his album. Like just give it a shot. It's like one of my favorite debut albums of all time. And now we're gonna head to the top 3 albums of Dir En Grey. I am so ready for this because I'm gonna go so deep into this. Let's go. Number 3, starting off. Have you ever wondered why I always put the word "the final" on my thumbnails for the finale of video game streams I do? Well, it's thanks to this album and the song "The Final" that's on it. Like, let me tell you, if this is the album that got Dir En Grey exposed to the West, to North America, then I am happy because there are so many amazing songs. Aside from The Final being like one of the top 10 songs of all time, no, top 5 songs of all time. There's so many great stuff. Saku, even though it's like and Jesus R&R and Kodo, everything in here is so amazing, and this deserves to be in the top 3 Dir En Grey albums. Really, Ring to Death. Dead Tree too. Have you watched the remastered version, like the modern performance of Dead Tree? Oh god, it's so amazing. I love it so much. But we're gonna talk about the 2 albums that actually are close to my heart by Dir En Grey because they're just that amazing. All right, let's go to number 2. Counting down. Oh boy, let me tell you something. I was a fan of Dir En Grey for a long time, so I was around when this album came out, but when I heard the single for Renkaku come out, that was when I was like, holy crud, you can't tell me that Dir En Grey went and beyond with the sound that they did with Dumb Sparrow Sparrow. But yes, they did, and as soon as I heard the full album, you heard Choshaku, Uruko, Tashin, Behind a Vacant Image, and there were like a few, like, I understand that Kyo went through vocal surgery during this time, so he didn't really do many harsh vocals. This is like one of like the first Dir En Grey albums where Kyo does like mainly clean vocals and his singing vocals, but let me tell you, the range on this man is crazy. The range on him is crazy. Like, Renkaku is so hard to do if you want to do it yourself, but that really speaks volumes of how much, like, how Kyo is like one of the most talented vocalists out there, and I'm so happy that he's still able to make music with Dir En Grey despite the many vocal surgeries. But still, there are a few songs in here like that still do have Kale's harsh vocals, but it's the clean vocals that really shine out here, and it's the instrumentation too. Shoutouts to the band for all the amazing stuff that they did in here, because really it's like some of the most amazing, most beautiful guitar work I have ever heard in my life. But even if I praise Archie this much, it's only number 2. There's still one more, and my top favorite, my number 1 favorite album by Dir En Grey is... Alright, Ouroboros. Let's talk about Ouroboros. Well, I'm gonna say one thing for sure. The first recorded version is a lot better. I'm not a big fan of the remastered reworked version because it takes away like a few of the things that I really liked about the original recorded version, because the thing about the original recorded version is that this is when Kill started doing more of like his inhuman vocals, more of his like inhuman harsh vocals. So when you listen to how those are recorded compared to like his later vocals on the remastered version of Ouroboros, it doesn't really vibe with me. I don't like it. I like how much more harsh and how much raw his vocals are on Ouroboros, but some of the greatest songs of all time are in here, like Venshuka. If the final is top 3, then Venshuka is like top 2. Venshuka is like one of the greatest songs of all time, for real. It's on a 9-minute monologue performance. Everything in there is so epic and amazing. Venshuka, and then you have Those in Green. Dozing Green. I understand on this version, there's the one where he recorded it in English, but there's also a Japanese version. But the English version is really cute. I like Kale doing English. I like it a lot. But goddamn, that scream at the end of Dozing Green is so freaking amazing. It is so freaking amazing. Like, I love Dir En Grey. I love everything that this band has done. They're truly super duper whooper amazing. One of my favorite bands, no, my favorite band of all time, Ouroboros, my favorite Dir En Grey album of all time, but all 10 of these albums that we ranked in this video are truly amazing. Yeah, they really are. Alright guys, well that ends this top 10 Dir En Grey albums ranking for our second episode of Don't Let Me Into My Zone music reviews on the MB channel. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button if you enjoyed this content and you want to see some live streams. I stream both on YouTube and Twitch. Make sure to follow me there if you want to keep eyes on this bass boy that really loves Dir En Grey as a band and musicians. But aside from that, I'll see you guys next time. I wonder what our next Don't Let Me Into My Zone episode will be. Well, it'll probably be as bass as this one. I'll see you guys later. Bye. Ciao. Remember to stay based. And you know what they say. The Final and Vinshuka, top 3 songs of all time. Let's go. Bye. Bye.